Hi there, Susan Yasui again. This time we have chapter 3 of Through the Eyes of a Child. Now, chapter 3 is entitled Normal Poop. So, I don't know if you know what poop means, but it's actually Unchi. Poop is a child's name for Unchi. Anyway, here we go. This is from Mimi again. Oh, she says, hello, it's Mimi here again. Today I have some news about hospitals. I really wish I didn't know anything about this subject since I learned it by being very sick recently. First, I want to say that I really hate being poked with needles, and I hope I never have to get another shot. I've decided to become a good doctor when I grow up and not give shots to any of my kid patients. Interesting, because she grew up to be a paramedic in the medical field. I don't know, she might be giving shots to kids. I'm not sure about that. But here we go. This whole thing seemed to have started with my falling down one afternoon and hurting my knees. As it turned out, though, it had nothing to do with the fall, but was more likely caused by a reaction to one of the many mosquito bites I'd gotten recently. My mom and I were about to escort a student from our school to a high school near Portland, Oregon. That is how it happened that I first saw a doctor here in Hiroshima and then another in Portland. I had to stay in the hospital for 5 days in Portland, but I heard that if I had been here in Hiroshima, I would have had to stay much longer. I don't know the reason for that, but I thought 5 days was really 5 days too many. At first, no one knew for sure what was wrong with me. I wanted to get out of that hospital so bad. I kept begging my mom to get me out and let me go home, but she wasn't the boss there. She said that the doctor would tell us when we could leave. All she could do was try to make me happy somehow in the meantime. I was still waking up in the middle of the night because of jet lag. So my mom would lift me into a wheelchair and we'd go down to the bottom floor where the canteen was. There were hardly any people down there, but we'd have a party, quote unquote party. Just the two of us. I couldn't really eat anything, but the microwave popcorn sounded so good that Mom would buy it and pop it for me anyway. I would only eat 2 or 3 pieces and drink some orange juice. But it was fun for me, and it did make me happier. I especially liked the cat-shaped balloon that my mom bought in the hospital flower shop. It had little legs that it bounced on as I pulled it behind my wheelchair. The nurses in the hallway would smile as I wheeled by. When my American doctor found out what was wrong with me, he gave my mom an 8-page article about it. One of our students here in Hiroshima is a doctor, and he was very surprised to find out that an American doctor had done such a thing. He said that usually the patients in Japan aren't told much at all about what is wrong, and sometimes, even when the person has something very wrong with their body, they still aren't told about it. Page 2. So my mom was very glad to read all about my disease. My mom was very glad to read all about my disease. But when we returned to Hiroshima, my doctor here did a similar thing. He pulled out a big, thick book and highlighted the various points in the chapter that covered what was wrong with me. The big book was in English, and although my doctor here doesn't speak much English, he seemed to understand the words in the big book. There was one way that both of my doctors were the same. They both treated me as real people, a real person, and both spoke to me about what they were about to do before even touching my body. I really liked that. Not everyone treated me that way. Some hospital people just grabbed at me as if I were an object, not even warning me about what was about to happen. Both doctors were very kind in that way, though. They spoke different languages, but they both really wanted to find out what was wrong with me and to help me get better. Once my American doctor knew what was wrong with me, he started to treat the disease. But every time I saw him, I asked him when I could go home. He finally said that I couldn't leave until I had a normal poop. Thus the name of the chapter. Have you ever tried to make your body poop correctly? I really didn't know what I could do to make it happen, but I knew that when it did, I could get out of the hospital and then we could fly back to Japan where my daddy was waiting for us. This whole experience was terrible for my mom and me, but my dad said it was even worse for him not being there with us. He was so worried he couldn't even sleep. Finally, I started to feel better, and my American doctor was so glad to see me laughing and happy again. His face really lit up when I told him I'd gone to the toilet finally and pooped a very big, normal poop. He laughed as he said, "You know, I bet this is the first time anyone has been so happy to hear about your poop." He was a good guy, that doctor. He told us to see my Japanese doctor again when I got home, so I decided to buy 2 stuffed animals to take back for him from the Lion King movie at the Disney store in Portland. I saw many animals in his office in Hiroshima, but they weren't as good as the Nala and Simba that I bought for him. My Japanese doctor was so happy when he saw what was in the package. He hugged the toys, laughed, and said to his nurse in English, "Made in America." Okay, that's the end of that chapter. And we'll be giving you the next chapter very soon. I hope you're enjoying these, and thank you for watching. Bye-bye.